What is going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. This is probably one of the most sought out videos everyone has been wanting to see on this channel. As you guys can see, I am not in my normal working environment. I am in San Antonio, Texas, still on leave, and haven't really been busting out that many videos just because I've been on leave. But anyway, let's get straight to it. It's gonna be a raw and honest Q&A questionnaire about anything there is as far as my life, what I'm doing right now, Air Force, stuff like that, firefighting, the whole spiel. It's gonna be here right now. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So the first question is going to be, do you use Air Force ranking or firefighter ranking, or both? In essence, do people refer to you as a rookie, a firefighter, a lieutenant, a captain, a chief, or as an airman first class, sergeant, and so on? So he has two questions. We're gonna go ahead and answer the first one. Basically, the lower tier of the airmen are gonna be either probies, really brand new guys. That's mostly, not all the time, but you'll have that. Then you have your higher tier of airmen, so your senior airmen and high-paced A1Cs who've been there for a while. They're going to be driver operators and regular firefighters. They already have their 5 levels, so they're going to be typically your driver operators and firefighters. Then you have your staff sergeants and tech sergeants are mostly going to be crew chiefs, and they're going to be helping crew trucks and stuff like that. Then you got your higher up enlisted personnel, so you'll have like master sergeants most likely, and tech sergeants are going to be either your station captain or your assistant chief of operations. Another question. All right, so the second question is going to be, was also wondering if you need an EMT or to be trained as an EMT to do your job, and somewhat. So you can have EMT, you can be a paramedic. But we all go through the same DoD Fire Academy school in order to become a firefighter in the military, right? And you need to pass an EMR course, emergency medical responder course, in order to be a military firefighter. And you can progress throughout the ranks depending on your base, if you're allowed to operate as EMT, stuff like that. It's all depending on your SOPs on wherever you're stationed at, okay? And that's basically my base. Right now we're working on EMT back, so we have a group of people for both shifts who are trying to work themselves up to get EMT. So a great thing that's happening right now is some of us have already taken EMT. As you guys have been watching my videos, I've been trying to bust my butt to really get my EMT. It's pretty difficult, I'm not gonna lie. It's a really difficult test. I've taken it once, I failed it. But there's other people on the shift who have also taken it and they passed, or are previously EMT, or still have their EMT from civilian, or are paramedics in the civilian world and came to the Air Force and are now military firefighters. So it just all depends. But yes, you can work yourself up to EMT. But his question to be answered is, you have to pass EMR whenever you're in tech school, or also known as A school to other people, other military branches. It's basically just our fire academy that you have to pass in order to become a military firefighter. I'm going to stay in the Air Force for more than 4 years, and I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I really joined the Air Force for my educational benefits, and I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, right? A lot of people are like, oh, you should do it to serve your country, this and that. And yes, I do do that, and I really respect my country and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I kind of do what I want to do, what I want to do, and what's going to make me happy in life. And I really don't see myself as a firefighter for my whole life, if that makes sense. It's a wonderful experience. It's great. It provides me with a lot of opportunity and a lot of open doors to later on in life, right? But I just really do not see myself as being in the military for more than the 2 years that I have left. You know, it's a great experience. You meet so many people. You get to travel the world, and like I said, but it's just not something I would want to do. I want to do YouTube freely. I want to do like diet. I want to become a dietitian. I want to help people. I want to be focused 100% on what I want to be focused on the moment. I really don't want to have any obstacles as far as being so restrictive on what I can and cannot put out there as far as my daily life, you know what I mean? Whenever you're military, you have to follow a certain set of guidelines, certain rules. You basically always have someone on top of you telling you what you can and cannot do, But at the same time, it's also good because you have structure in your life. You have responsibilities that if you're told to do something, you got to do it. You know what I mean? Not too many people in this world can have someone, like, they can't live with having someone tell them exactly what to do because they don't want to follow the rules. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it teaches you discipline, it teaches you how to be strong-minded, teaches you how to work as a group, also to work individually, because some people struggle with that. So it really helps you out. I'm not gonna lie, the military has provided me with so many assets to becoming the person I am today, right? And it's just so beneficial, and don't regret joining whatsoever. But no, to answer the question, I do not see myself doing more than the 4 years that I had signed up to do. Things change, I'll let you guys know, but as of right now, I do not. I am currently in high school and want to become a municipal firefighter. Is Air Force fire protection a good way to becoming one? I mean, it gives you the experience, you know? Air Force firefighting is, I feel like, would be not easier to get into because it's very hard to land the Air Force firefighting job. I have tons of people messaging me every day like, how can I get this job and stuff like that, but it's very difficult. But at the same time, I know how hard it is to also get on a civilian side because there's just so many people wanting that job as well. So it's really, I would say, try to apply both, right? And whichever one accepts you, take the opportunity to, because if you go military, you'll have firefighting under your belt. And I would say, honestly, go Air Force because they have so much more exposure to the firefighting world as opposed to other military branches. Like Marine Corps is strictly airport rescue firefighting, right? Army, according to one of my master sergeants who's been in damn near 20 years, they hardly ever do anything related to their job that they're meant to be doing. He said that when he worked with some of the Army guys, that they were telling him he saw and they told him that they were doing like janitorial work. They were like mostly doing lawn care and stuff like that. They hardly trained, but who knows, you know? I'm just saying that if you guys know anything more, please comment down below. But I just know Air Force offers rescue, hazmat, you know, the possibilities are literally endless. Structural, ARV. There's just so many things to do with Air Force firefighting that are probably as close as possible you're gonna get to civilian side. Maybe it's not as much action, just depending on which base you're at, but it's damn near civilian. So I would say whichever one gives you the opportunity to become a firefighter faster. If you join the military, you have your firefighting experience, so it doesn't leave you blind going directly into a civilian department, you know what I mean? But I've met people who have done both. They go military and they go civilian with their certs, and then they go from civilian, they come to military, and you know, just personal preference, honestly, at this point. My answer would just be whichever one accepts you faster, take the opportunity, and then just get your foot in the door and make most of it. So I got a question that says, so how do I get your job as a fireman? I'm a fireman civilian side. Does that help? And really, to be honest with you, no, it doesn't. It's not gonna help you. I mean, it might help the recruiter, like push you over someone else, but it's all recruiter dependent, and it's all basically what that recruiter in your local area can grasp for you. So the Air Force is like basically like this. The Air Force is like, okay, we need firefighters, so here's a list of jobs that are available, right? And let's say firefighter is in there, but it's very, very limited because I know how hard it is for that job to come up, right? So if your recruiter doesn't somehow manage to snag that slot, that open slot for you before another recruiter does, then it's very, very difficult to get the job, because he can't just tell big Air Force that, hey, I have this guy who's a civilian firefighter and he wants to know if he could become Air Force firefighter. It's literally, if Air Force needs firefighters, the spot will open. If it gets taken, it gets taken. And people ask me all the time, like, was it very hard for you? And to be honest with you, no, because I walked in the recruiter and it just so happened that the spot was available. So I'm just going off of what my recruiter was saying, and how it was explained to me on how the jobs were given out and how the jobs were selected and how jobs were available in the Air Force. But if you guys know of anything else, just comment down below, because I'm really willing to know a little more about it. But I'm 100% sure that's the way things go. If Big Air Force needs firefighters, they're gonna give the slots open. If your recruiter doesn't get that slot, then that's pretty much it. Like, no matter if you're a 20-year firefighter, civilian side with paramedic, right? It's just like not gonna work out for you if that spot is not available. Was Air Force firefighting tech school hard? Well, we each have our own definition of hard, right? What the word hard means. Some people might consider something to be hard, and then someone else might consider that to be very, very easy. You know, so personally, what I'm gonna give it is more physically hard than it is mentally. You really gotta, well, at the same time, it's a little bit of both, I'm not gonna lie, because you are gonna be doing some quizzes, like in class work, and you gotta study. But I've always been a decent, like really good test taker, and as long as I study or just like glance at, you know, paperwork, I'm really good. So like classwork aspect, super basic stuff. As long as you study, they're literally giving you the answers. So I say that's pretty easy. But when I mean mentally is whenever you're doing your task. I had no firefighting experience, so whenever I was putting gear on and using my mask, I would be like, yo, like, what am I doing? You're like, this is pretty tough. Like, it's all mental game, because it was pretty hard for me to like learn how to breathe in my mask and stuff like that. It sounds weird, right? Learning to breathe in your mask, but you just got to get used to it. Like having something restrictive over your face, and you've never had that before in your life, you know, so it's something to get used to, you know. So it's all mental. Whenever you're doing a confined space, all mental. Again, you just got to tell yourself you're gonna get through it. You eventually do. Your peers and your superiors, they're not there to make you fail out. They're there to teach you what you got to learn, make sure you know what you like have to learn, right, and then help you get through the course. But it's all dependent on yourself. If you're not going to push yourself to become a better person and become the person that you signed up to be, right, then you're not going to pass. So it is mentally hard as far as the fire ground works, and physically tough if you're not in shape. I've seen people struggle. I even struggled, and I say I was in pretty decent shape. I would work out every day, even after school. I would even get home to like 8 to back to my dorm, and then I had my homework on top of that, like study and stuff. But it's pretty tough. It was like a lot of I guess you can say cardio wise. I mean, you do have to have your strength whenever you're pulling dummies, pulling hose advancement, stuff like that. But you just got to be well-rounded in athleticism, in my honest opinion, to be somewhat strong. I'm not saying go be the strongest man or by any means be like a super crazy marathon runner or anything, but just be athletic, you know, be athletic individual, and I feel like you'd be fine. There's nothing to worry about. You also, since you're at tech school, we also do PT. Since you're in the military, you're going to be doing PT, running miles, probably like 3 to 4 miles every other day. So that's on top of that. And then you got your weight training in between those every other days. And then some people take it the extra mile, like myself, just because I really wanted to get through tech school. I would work out, but working out wasn't really anything that burdened me. And if anything, I really love to work out, because it's just not something I see as doing extra. It's more like a habit. It's kind of like brushing your teeth. You're not going to forget to brush your teeth, no matter if you come home hammered like at fucking 3 a.m., right? You're not going to forget to brush your teeth, because it's just a habit you have, correct? So that's pretty much how working out is for me. And so I say tech school is decent. We have probably one of the more harder tech schools, if you had to ask me, because there's just so much thrown on top of you all at once. And I haven't been to any other tech school, but I'm assuming, you know, it's pretty physically demanding as well as mentally. So I would say tech school, just something to prepare yourself for. Make sure you're just a well-rounded individual in the books and athleticism. trying to go to the Air Force and I have to be under at least 150 for my height, and I can't seem to be losing weight. Well, I would highly recommend for you to track your calories. I don't know how much overweight you are over this 150 pounds, but I highly recommend you track your macronutrient intake. And if you don't want to get down to that detail, track your calories. Just see how much you're eating in a day for a whole week. Make sure you're tracking it, right? Then you're gonna realize, okay, I'm eating this much pretty much every day. Let me just knock it down by like 300 to 500 calories for the certain amount of time, right? Then you're gonna start being in a caloric deficit. Your body's gonna be basically in a caloric deficit. You're gonna be losing weight no matter. I would also incorporate like a pretty good, decent workout routine. I'm not saying go in there and try to win Mr. Olympia, you know what I mean? I'm not saying go in there and run 20 miles each day just because you're trying to lose weight. No, like I'm saying really simple workout, like whatever you want to do, and then incorporate some cardio at least 3 to 5 times a week. Personally, I would do that. And I would say what I love to do is maybe like start off at maybe like 3 cardios throughout the whole week, maybe 15 minutes each, and then as the weeks go by, increase it to maybe 4 cardios a week, and then bump it up to 20 minutes, and so on and so forth. Don't rush things too much. Don't take away too many calories too fast. But at the end of the day, you want to lose some weight, be in a caloric deficit.
How could I make sense when I got millions on